flocks of ibis standing by. They're walking, picking cloggers, sunrise to sunset. 2 miles down, 10 to go. In the heat, quick, quick, slow, slow. Along the road, the trash will blow. Grab your friends, don't be shy. Flocks of ibis standing by. Grab your friends, don't be shy. Flocks of ibis standing by.
All right. Yeah, that's the plug-in song, one of my favorites. And it reminds me of us when we were plugging down there, you know.
I love it.
All right. Let's see if we can get... Good morning. Can you hear us? Can you hear us okay?
I can.
All right. All right.
Sweet Harriet.
Yeah.
Good morning.
I can only see your eyes.
Good morning.
So you might have to...
How do I just do this? And expand
No,
like
it's
this?
hard.
Might be the camera. Can you back up maybe a little bit? Well,
From way back here. It wasn't like this earlier.
Yeah, and tilt the camera. There you go. There you are. There you are.
There you are.
Sweet Harriet, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show this morning. And we were just playing that plug-in song, and we always
I hear that.
We always encourage people, you know, when they come to the island. First of all, take care of the island when you get there, and
Everywhere you go on planet.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Not just Key West, but everywhere you go.
That's right.
For God's sakes, throw away your trash, you know, or whatever. You know, don't throw it on the floor and on the
There's
beach.
plenty of containers around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says trash here. You know, you always got to think about what a drunk will do, and they do some stupid stuff. So, but great song. And so, how are you doing this morning?
I'm feeling pretty good. Thank you. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great.
You both have such good energy. Your whole crew, really. People that call in, and you can feel how excited people are when you say good morning to them on the radio. It's just on YouTube. You've got so many sponsors, and you've got people that want to join your crew and team and vacationing with you. It's like a whole other family.
It's crazy. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a crazy world out there. We might as well enjoy the ride. You know what I'm saying?
And we share each other's triumphs and burdens, and we may not all say something, but we can feel it.
You know, that's true. You know, we always say that a lot happens in 7 days around here, from one show to the next, from one Sunday to the next, and the world goes crazy. But we all come together on Sunday. We try to bring a little happiness into the world, tell people it's going to be okay, and bring people with us, you know, down to Costa Rica, going to Bahamas, whatever, you know, experiencing the things that you guys write songs about, and we play music about and write about ourselves, you know. So that's what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've done a bit of writing yourself.
Yes, I have, and if I had my way about it, I would write more. You know, that's probably. You know, at this point in the age, I'll be 60 next year.
I heard you say that last week. I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah, 60, and you start thinking about things a little differently at this point.
It's a new decade for us.
I know when you turn 40, you know, you're like, man, I still got it. And 50 sounds, you know, it was great. When you turn 50, it feels like an accomplishment. 60 is like, oh man, I'm running out of time.
That's a bigger accomplishment. I made it.
Yeah, I hope I make it. But. You know, you start thinking about all the time you might have left and things you want to do. So you start.
Well, I've been doing that for quite a while. There's so many people, you know. I mean, how many times have you become close to death? Like, actually, and you know it, and you're just grateful for all of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss it.
You know,
exactly.
No, I want to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, we're talking about some, Tim Myers, and his birthday is around the same time as mine. And normally we have this big summer party here in July. And
we wanted to attend last year, just things got too crazy.
Well, you need to come this year, because next year we may be jumping out of an airplane in Key West.
Ray the roadie just popped in because he's been listening in the other room. So go ahead.
Yeah.
I was just saying she should move the computer back a little.
Yeah.
I don't know if these earbuds are out or not.
Nice shirt, Ray.
Probably don't need to take the earbuds out because you won't hear us. But you're fine. You're fine right there. Okay.
And
check you out.
Well,
yeah.
There you go.
Look at you.
Yeah. Always nice to see boobies in the morning. That's great.
That's what Ray says all the time.
Anyway,
it's and I put the stickers on everything.
Oh, thank you so much for that. That means the world to us.
All those things that travel with us.
Yeah.
To back up, but my earbuds are going to stick out. So that's fine. Is that better?
Yeah, that's great.
Good.
That's great. So you were in the military and retired from the military, right?
I got medically retired. I was in for 8 years. First, prior enlisted as a medic, and then I went back to school as a reservist, and then went back active duty. When I graduated, I got an internship as a registered dietitian, and I did that. I just retired that for after 31 years.
Wow.
It's a bunch of health stuff that I am juggling, and it makes me just, with my background, makes me a little more advocate for my friends and family, which is constant.
Well, my daughter is listening. She's out on the Facebook or the YouTube.
Oh, she was in the Army, you said.
Yeah.
Hoorah! Yeah.
Yeah. So and she did the medical thing as well. She was stationed over in Tripler Hospital over in Hawaii, and she went to Iraq and all that stuff. So that was kind of her field, and so she can kind of sympathize with everything that you had to go through. What about music? I mean, you're kind of known for parody songs, but I love them. I got to tell you, you got a beautiful voice, and just like that song there, you always have a message, a story to tell. It seems like you're more into, some people can just write songs about a palm tree or whatever, but you seem to kind of lean more towards a story of the song.
All true. Every song I've written are based on my life experiences or something that's affected me. Something to the story just comes, the song just comes. And others are on hold. I got a bunch in the hopper. I talk to Brian and Michelle all the time.
Yeah.
And it's fun to collaborate. We're going to be seeing them soon, and that's really exciting. But the music has been a lifesaver for me. I started singing so I could get my lung volume back with the a lot of stuff, a lot of body stuff. And I had some new stuff come out.
Well, that's great, and we anytime you got new music, send it over to us, of course. And I know you and B-Man and Michelle, you guys hang out a lot. And I was talking to Brian the other day. I'm like, how did you guys meet? And he was telling me about the B.O.'s Fish Wagon.
Yes,
and
that was fun.
Yeah, and that's first of all, B-Man and Michelle are fantastic. I call him my brother from another mother. We have such a great relationship, and we love Michelle and the cats and all this. But people like Brian and Michelle, are just you just meet them by chance, and then they become some of your best friends.
Like I think I put that in the message, birds of a feather.
Yeah.
We end it rendezvousing for these wonderful events. We can't hang out all the time, unfortunately, because that would obviously change the relationship. But
sure.
You've got your groups of friends. You've got your relatives that are also your friends, and you've got strangers you meet. I got so many stories to tell you. I had to take some notes, like Brian's scripts, and I'm trying to stay focused because I get excited and go off on a tangent.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys have co-written some songs together, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Walking, Picking, Ploggers was one of them, and we had Tamale Man was a ton of fun.
It's funny because you get credit for Tamale Man, but I in the background, all right, I'm telling, we talk every week, right? And, I'll call him and he's working on tamales. And I'm like, listen, you need to quit all this other stuff you're doing. You are the Tamale Man, okay? I was telling him that long before y'all wrote the song, but...
I started it 5 years ago when I met him. Yeah, because they told me that story, and I'm like, there's a song here.
You are the Tamale Man.
He's listening.
Yeah,
he's been texting me.
Yeah, he's down in Orlando, and a much needed rest, because I always talk about Jimmy Paris's song "I Need a New Island," and it's almost like that's where he's at. He has to leave the island to relax, and it's kind of crazy if you think about it. But
no, I understand the energy of Key West. They look forward to tourists going home so they can relax.
Sure.
That's what the island vibe is. And our own state, our little state of New Hampshire, relies on tourism for skiing in the winter and the mountains in the spring, summer, fall, the autumn leaves and all that.
Well, around here, it's the Tiki Bar. Okay, I have to leave and go to another country to get away from the Tiki Bar because it works me to death. So
Guess what? You end up at another bar.
Yeah, he does.
looking at ideas like, oh, that's a good idea. There was
That's another good idea for a song.
It's true. You know, we were in Costa
Bar
Rica.
hopping.
Yeah, we were in Costa Rica, and we were at this cool bar called the Monkey Bar. And I'm looking at it. I'm looking at all the dollar bills, and I'm like, you know, we should put dollar bills in our Tiki Bar. You know, so you can't stop. You can't stop. You know, it's just part of it. But you sent over a new song. It's a cover song, and you do a lot of covers.
I've got a lot of music I haven't sent you because I didn't know if it was appropriate for the vibe of the channel.
Oh,
But then
really?
I listen different times of the day and I hear what you play. I'm like, maybe.
Maybe.
So I sent it. Yeah.
maybe.
So
Well,
wow.
you know, when we first started out over 10 years ago, we kind of called ourselves the Trop Rock Paradise, right? Because it was a tropical feel or whatever. And I realized immediately that people thought that we only play trop rock music, right? So we changed it to Coastal Americana. And then all of a sudden people start sending me all this great music, you know? So the station actually has some rock, some blues, some jazz, some indie music, some Spanish music. It's got all kinds of music in it.
It's awesome.
You know, so yeah, it's a good mix of music, and I've had to tell trop rock artists that over the years, like, don't just send me the one about the palm tree. I want to hear some of the other stuff, you know.
All right. Well, don't be surprised if I start sending you, trickle in a few more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play what you want, and that could be. The newest stuff though is actually that another parody song, "Grandma Got Knocked Over by a Big Wave," and so Brian is actually part of that. But I wrote that in 1995 before I was a songwriter.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
I was visiting one of my brothers, John, and his wife in Hawaii. He was stationed at Kaneohe Bay several times, and he was Marine Corps 26 years. My dad's Korean War veteran. My brother Mark is Marine Corps. My brother Barry's Army, and my other two siblings were not military or mom. But,
Wow. Yeah.
It's his mother-in-law was knocked just walking on Waikiki. The story is all true. His mother-in-law was knocked over. In the song, she passes away, but she's still alive and well, and she was not.
So Grandma got run over. I got to tell you, it's not my favorite Christmas song, the whole Grandma with a Reindeer thing. You know, as a matter of
It was
fact.
popular in the 90s.
It
Remember
was.
in the 90s?
It was very popular.
It was, but I'm like,
I only decided to do it last year. Like, I should probably publish that. It's kind of fun. And it's all a true story. And then you have to go through the process of paying a fee for cover songs and getting permission from the publisher. And I'm like, I was thinking about it. Every time I meditate, I get a link that finds me what I need.
There you go.
There you go.
So I said, I wonder if Randy Brooks, who wrote the song, has any mutual friends. Brian Fields. I'm like, what are the odds?
What are the odds?
And he says, I am hot. I don't. And he looks and he goes, oh, they met on their trip that they invited us on and we couldn't go 2 years ago, the Virgin Islands.
Right. Yeah. The
And
sailing
they were
trip.
on a stopover between ships, and they ran into each other and talked, musician to musician. So it ended up being his people and my people, and then me with him. And he says, thank you for asking permission. Over 200 parodies of that song are not one person asked permission. So he said, thank you for that.
Wow.
And he said, go ahead. And,
That's
so I
awesome.
did.
Well, that is great.
Yeah, it probably makes him feel good too. You know that it's still it's. We were talking to another artist last week on the show, and we were talking about that songs will give back to you. If you're a songwriter, they give back to you in ways that we, the listener, have no idea what that is. And a song like that, as crazy as it is, the Christmas song that first of all, I'm not a big fan of Christmas, okay? But we have, and trust me, people start sending me trop rock Christmas songs in July, okay?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I'm with you actually on that. It's been, Christmas is often overwhelming, and
Yeah,
rather.
it is.
So I had said I gotta write some Christmas songs, and I did.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, there you
Christmas
go.
Archipelago.
Yeah. Well, most of them start out, Santa walked into the green parrot or something like that.
Yeah. Mine is getting away from the snow and then you see Santa and Mrs. Claus karaoke and he doesn't know list. He's drinking rum. So
that's great.
So I got two songs. I got the one you sent me, which you did a beautiful cover. The night they drove Dixie down. You did a beautiful job on that. And then I've got the other one that we could play, or we could play that one, whichever one you want to. I've got the Danger Cow one.
I don't know. That's so funny. Why? And that's all on a true story. That was when there's a story behind that.
There's always a story.
Yeah, and of course the Johnny Rivers Secret Agent Man line. But there's been a whole raw milk rediscovery in America. We can have it if it's brucellosis free and tuberculosis free. Then sure, if you can handle dairy, that's great. But you shouldn't have some lawyer shutting down a family farm because. So that's what that song came about. There was a big thing in our state, and I went to Concord and I said, "Listen to me," and because of all the letters behind my name and my experiences, this is crowded room of people and mothers and children. I mean, it was standing room only, and the board, the panel of the state, I was preaching to the choir. They were all like everything I said, and there's a person from the higher government that said something, and I said, toe to toe.
Nice.
And I said, listen, I made a friend. I mean, we carpooled with a stranger to go up, and we ended up being fast friends. 5 hours later, we're still jabbering about it, and then the song came out. So
it's crazy, something like that, or hey, let's get rid of the chickens in Key West. I mean, like, what the hell? What the hell's wrong with these people?
And I thought we were going to talk more about Grandma. What happened? I sang. So when we've been home for since over a year for some family things, and I introduced it to when I decided I was going to publish Grandma Got Knocked Over by a Big Wave. I sang it at Old Stone Coffee House, and there's Brian and Vanessa and Ray the Roadies laughing hysterically, and I'm like, my song's not that funny. They're laughing about something else. So that's when we found
looking
out.
at your hair, making sure you should.
Yeah, I said, I'm looking at him. Well, Ray the Roadie's famous for changing the lyrics, and it messes me up. Sometimes I freeze, not because I forgot the words, but I'm remembering his funny take on the words. Naughty
but words.
This time they were saying, I was singing, Grandma got knocked over by a big wave, and Vanessa and Ty, you're familiar with Vanessa and Ty?
Yep.
Vanessa got knocked up in Acapulco. That's. And I said, "Oh my God, I'll always remember that now because they made me laugh so much, and that's what they were laughing about."
Yeah, that's kind of like Danny Hoy's "Naked" song. It's it became the Naked song because everybody kept saying, sing the Naked song, and all this stuff, So it does kind of take a life of its own. But I tell you what, I want to play this beautiful cover that you sent me the night they drove Dixie down. We're going to put you back in the green room, and we'll come back after this so everybody can hear it, okay?
Sure.
All right, here we go. Sweet Harriet, everybody. Here we go.
Virgil Kane is the name, and I served on the Danville train till Stoneman's cavalry came and tore up the tracks again. In the winter of '65, we were hungry, just barely alive. By May the 10th, Richmond had fell. It's a time I remember oh so well. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the people were singing. They went la 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 la. my wife in Tennessee when one day she said to me, Virgil, quick, come see, there goes Robert E. Lee. Now I don't mind chopping wood, and I don't care if the money's no good. You take what you need and you leave the rest, but they should never have taken the very best. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the people were singing. They went la 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 la. Like my father before me, I will work the land. Like my brother above me, I took a rebel stand. He was just 18, proud and brave, but a Yankee laid him in his grave. And I swear by the blood below my feet, you can't raise a cane back up when he's in defeat. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the bells were ringing. The night they drove old Dixie down, and the people were singing. They went la 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 la.
All right. And the crowd goes wild. There we go. Such a beautiful job on that. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I just love your voice.
There is, thanks. I appreciate it.
Go ahead. What was you going to say?
I have a new video to an older song, Riding Hood and the Wolf. And I'm probably going to do a YouTube video just with the author of a series of poems that it was inspired from. And I wrote that in 2010. It's inspired by the feeling of self-empowerment, even though it's an old, sorry about that, an old,
That's probably Brian.
oh, no, yeah, he said, Willie's singing along with my song. He must be a Yankee, I mean, not a Yankee cat, but a Confederate cat. Yeah, I get along with them real well down there, the cats. We just love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these songs, sometimes, because like I'm writing this book now, and I had to walk away from it. I got to a point where the story's going to turn dramatically, right? And I'm constantly writing it in my head. And my question is, do songs do that as well? Do you, because you say, you
Always.
know what? Yeah, like you wrote this in 2010 or whatever. I mean, do they come back to you? Okay, that makes sense now. Maybe it's our life that we're living that we have to finish something. I don't know.
Where you are in your life changes the perspective. We talked about decades. You turned 10 years old. I just turned 60 in January.
Yeah.
And there are foods, every decade, there are certain foods I start liking. When I turned 40, I started liking tequila. Convenient.
Yeah.
And then at 60, I'm like, I'm not eating certain foods. I'm just not happy with them. They're not happy in my body anymore. But the way we look at things, I reread an old book and I'm like, now I get what they're talking about. And then my songs are also changing perspective. I could just tell the woe and gloom and doom, but I want to feel my own power and come from that perspective so that everything that happens to us, we can get by with this inner power that we were God's gift or that each of us have it, and we want to encourage each other to tap into that. And you do it with your show. People do it with their music. So many ways. It's not even non-verbally. We send our thoughts, and you can feel it if you allow it.
If you allow it, that's right.
That's right.
And
so that song, "Riding Hood on the Wolf," I look for the light in your eyes. It's for every single human being on earth, and the animals, and they look for that in us too.
Yeah.
You see emotions are so powerful. You may not put a name to it, but you kind of feel someone's emotional state. I can't see your eyes. You got some dark sunglasses on. But...
yeah. Well, it's bright in here. We got 10,000 lights in here, but
and a hat.
And a hat. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if I don't wear a hat, people are like, where's your hat at? You're not the Tiki Man, or whatever. I hide in airports, without my hat on. That way, people don't come up to me wanting autographs and things,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that could happen. Has any women asked you to sign their breasts yet with a permanent marker?
Well, long before the hippie chick came on, I signed a lot of things, but I don't do that anymore either. She run all that off. But anyway, quickly changing the subject.
So this "Riding Hood on the Wolf," I wrote that also back in 2010 or 2011, and I actually did a reprise of it because I wasn't as happy with the music bed, so we redid it in the studio and added some more oomph, a little more oomph to it. And then how am I going to portray the lyric to this video, "Riding Hood on the Wolf"?
Yeah.
And I had some music. had joined a music group where you can try to submit your music to TV, radio commercials. And the person that found my music said, "Hey, he signed me to a licensing agreement with the Discovery Channel back in the early 20, 10s and 15s. They didn't ever use it, but it was such an honor. Hey, they put my second album in their music library. So I have I think 6, 7 albums now and a bunch of singles. Wow. And it's a lot of fun. So you played Walkin' Pickin' Poggers, but there's a really fun music video with that. And you did hear about Condiment Casualty, which I did get through most of the morning until I dribbled some coffee on my shirt. It's probably all it's all dry now. It's fine. I got the stain out. And one thing leads to another.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that. Real quickly, I mean, most of my writings that I write about is I call them your life is 5-year increments, meaning that every 5 years is a new chapter. So, and I try to get people to think of it that way. Like 5 years ago, your life was completely different. 10 years ago, it was completely different. So it stands to reason that in 5 years from now, it's going to be different. So you have to embrace change and think of it that way. So maybe you're right. The songs or the writing of the books or whatever, it's not me walking away. It's more I need to do a little more living to finish it.
I want ease and flow on all subjects in my life.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm pretty clear about that. I say it every day. It's part of my little mantra. And Ray, he goes to the firehouse on Sunday mornings, and for the retirees, the retired guys. He did 20 years on our local town. I did 5 years on my town. That's actually how we met for certified level 1 firefighter back in the 80s. And he comes back. He's like, "Come out here. I got to show you something." And I went out, and I didn't have my glasses on, but there's a hen with 15 babies, and she's going across. So I took some little videos. I uploaded it to YouTube as a short. Yeah. And it's just so cute. And then they get in the tall grass. You could barely see them, but they're so cute, and they're chirping. And I tried to put a music bed to it. Sissy from Neltini actually got me started doing short. She's like, "It's so easy. Give me your phone." And she's blah, 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 do this. And I'm like, I've been trying and practicing. She's like, "It's so easy." Yeah. You got to keep practicing, though. It's easy for some people.
Yeah, I know, right? You look at them like, "You kids with your phones, stop it."
It's fun, though. So I posted that just as I was in the green room waiting. I posted it, so that was fun. And so I took we went to Myrtle Beach Bike Week, and we had a blast 2 weeks ago. It was the most relaxed I've been in a year, honestly.
Wow. That's cool. I grew up going to Myrtle Beach. I love it down there. I need to get back down there. I discovered the white sands of the Gulf, and I kind of lean more towards that now. But I do need to get back to Myrtle Beach. But
the water was warm. And we'll be going to see Brian and Michelle June 20th. We fly out, and I hope the water's warm because I feel refreshed and rejuvenated in the ocean.
Yeah, me too.
And
me too.
Yeah. It does a lot for my muscles and my attitude and my lungs. Everything's better.
Yeah.
And I bought some new sexy jeans when I was down there.
All right.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden it was nice. I know I finally got on the back of the motorcycle with Ray. Our friends traveled down some trailers with those 6 couples, and it was a lot of fun. Rented a house right on the beach. Well, these sexy jeans have some bling. I'm like, oh, that'll be fun when I'm performing. And they have little slits on the side. And I don't know if you can see it, but I got a souvenir.
Ooh. Ooh.
So
oh.
the slits on the side have sun.
Yeah.
Sunburn. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So now you got spots down your leg from the sun, right?
Yeah,
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and spots on my back. I went to an acupuncturist, and she did some cupping to try to relieve some muscle stuff. And there's this giant, like, octopus suction cup things on my back. All these bruises on my face. Like, they're hickeys. So, yeah.
Hickeys. I love hickeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're all over my back, these giant.
Yeah, from this section. Yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to have to let you fly. I've got the Forgotten Coast Parrothead Club coming up next, and
All right.
they got
Thanks
a
so much, everybody.
big festival that they want to get the word out, and we want to help them. So thank you. You are a ray of sunshine, and we really appreciate you just being you and Ray and what you do out there. So keep doing it, keep living it, and send us any music you want to, okay?
I will. Brian said to tell you a corny joke, so I'm told we should play chess with children. It's just really hard to get all 32 of them to stand in their squares.
She's also known for her corny jokes.
Yeah,
I love
why
it.
do ducks have feathers? To cover their butt quacks. Happy, Brian?
Yeah, he's happy now, I'm sure. But all right, well, thank you so much for being on the show this morning, and send us some music, and hopefully we'll see you down the road, okay?
Thank you. We sure look forward to meeting you all someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you soon.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Sweet Harriet, everybody, joining us.